with the flow. It's the Hershey and Keegs Show.
Welcome to Hershey and the Keegs Show, starring pitcher Mark Hirschman and his personal catcher, Mike Keegan. Every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. live from the Governor's Comedy Club radio studio. Thanks so much for listening.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what is it? It's Tuesday night. It's 9 p.m.
It is. It really is.
Grab those Ginies and rub those Heinies.
Oh, okay.
We are going to have a fun time tonight. We're back. We weren't here last week. Hey, guess what, everybody? It's the Hershey and the Keegs Show.
It is the Hershey and the Keegs Show, and it always feels like if we're not here for a week, it feels like we're not here for a year.
Even for 1 week, exactly.
Now, there is a story. Tony wouldn't tell us. He was very secretive as to why we didn't have a show last week.
Yeah,
I found out.
Not like something was happening last week either, like a big event in the country.
No, nothing about anything like that. It actually was not connected to that, but it's a great story, and we're going to get into it in a second. But we are starting this week, a very big week for Hershey and the Keegs Show.
Big.
People have been clawing and fighting for this for a long time, and now it's finally time. We are going to go ahead and start. We have some sponsors. We have some people who were decided that they want to be part of the Hershey and the Keegs Show.
Like when you go through like Alcoholics Anonymous,
exactly.
You get a
sponsor. It's the same type of thing.
It's going to tell us to stop doing comedy.
That's basically what it is. So we have some people that want to advertise their great businesses and their businesses that I'm certainly part of and well aware of, and we're super excited about it. So as soon as Tony pops up the first one, we're going to go ahead and start with our sponsorships, and then we'll dive right into the show. The Hershey and Keegs Show proudly is sponsored by Demolition Specialists, 1-855 Rip-Outs. They are experts in Scott's Rent Defense, 1877 Box for Rent if you need a dumpster. Family owned and operated, 30 plus years in business, fully licensed demolition contractor. Okay? Then we have Angela's Bra Boutique on 223 Main Street in Farmingdale, New York, 11735 516-249-6509. Personalized bra fittings providing a wide selection of brands, sizes, and styles. Our next advertiser would be Triple M Professional Painting and Construction, 516-395-6390. Free estimates, interior and exterior specials. And we have family owned and operated for over 35 years. Triple M asks for James. Our next proud sponsor is Impressions Dance Studio in Levittown, 516-735-0545. Take life by the hand and dance, 3103 North Jerusalem Road, Levittown, New York, www.impressionsdancestudio.com. We also have Sunray Services, air conditioning, plumbing, heating, and electrical. Now is the best time to convert to hybrid heating and cooling. Call us today at 631-231-5533, www.sunrayservices.com. Followed up by Minuteman Sewer and Drain, Minutemen Plumbing and Heating. Ask for Bill, 1-800-287-1772, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Minuteman Sewer and Drain. Next up is American Restoration Solutions. Keith Dunn is the man you asked for. Senior Account Manager. You can call him on his cell at 516-662-9377, and you can reach him at AmericanRestorationSolutions.com. And last but not least, New View Construction, 516-924-5627. For all of your general contractor needs, reach out to Anthony at New View Construction. Now, those are our brand new 8 advertisers. I want to tell you that I have had personal dealings over the years with all 8 of them, except Dunn's Fire Restoration. Thank God I have not had to deal with that, but I will tell you that Keith Dunn is a kid I know since he's 12 years old. He's a great kid, so if you have any restoration needs, reach out to him.
He's not a child.
He's not a child. He's now 40-something years old, but he was a child when I knew him.
He was a child at one point.
So again, I have personal dealings with all these people. When you contact them, you mention that you heard about the show, Hershey and the Keegs. You heard about the advertisement on Hershey and the Keegs show, so they continue to keep on advertising, and Mike and I become wealthy, rich men.
Exactly.
Okay,
that's the whole end point.
Thank you very much for our new advertisers. We will continue to grow. If you have interest in advertising, hit up me or Mike, and we'll see what we can do for you. Okay.
Hey, let's take a second to give Mark a round of applause for that.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you.
Thank you. Thank
Live
you so much.
on-air advertisements. Good job, man.
I've been, of course, pontificating and nervous all day about it.
Yep.
Hopefully it came out well.
Oh, wow.
But I am excited that these people want to go ahead and show us their love by sponsoring the Herschy and the Keegs show.
Isn't take life by the hand and dance? Isn't that like your motto?
Yeah, so...
Did they steal that from you, or did you give that to them?
I gave that to them. But you name it. Scotty's Demo, great company. Angela's Bra Boutique is where Samantha works and has worked since the inception of the business. James Nocerino's Painting, Triple M, fantastic company who's done work in my house. Impressions Dance. Anna, my daughter, was a competitive dancer there until she graduated from high school. Sunray Heating and Air, our dear friend Eric Haft.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, of course. Bill Saccone and his Minuteman Plumbing. If you need a plumber, he's been to my house a million times. We talked
sure.
about Keith Dunn, and then there's Anthony Banfich's company that we mentioned as far as full contracting dormers and such. So proudly feel comfortable to reach out to any one of these companies, mention Herschy and the Keegs show, so we can keep the lights on. And that was that. Thank you again to our sponsors. And now we're going to deep
we'll
dive.
See you next week.
And that's it. And that's it. Good night, everybody. Good night. So we have a lot to cover. And I don't know if I even told you this. I think I texted you in the morning yesterday that I was going to pop on and see if I can get onto Tony's show. He always asks us. And obviously we have other things going on. But I did about a half hour on Tony's show with Don Sill and Tony. And they call it Knocking Dead. What do they call it?
Knocking Boots.
Knocking Boots comedy. We knocked some boots. I had some good laughs, but during that period of time, Tony said, "I can tell you what happened last Tuesday." Now
It was a mystery.
it was a mystery, but we didn't hound him.
We didn't question him. We didn't hound him. We said, all right, you can't make Tuesday election day. That's fine.
So it's interesting. People were texting us saying, "Why are you guys not on the air? You could have been live reading the results and all this kind of stuff." And I said, I don't know. Tony had something to do. The last time this happened, he disappeared to London for like an overnight trip.
Yeah.
Some
18
bizarre
hours in London.
Some fucking weird Abbey Road thing. And he literally was like there for like 2 nights. It was the weirdest shit ever. But we both had a feeling this time, we're not going to, if Tony's telling us he can't go to the show and he can't produce it and ultimately we can't do the show, there's a reason and we're not going to bother him.
Yeah, exactly.
We left it alone.
Everybody's got things going on.
Now, what he told me makes me love Tony even more than I already do.
Is that possible?
It's not possible, but when you hear this, you might get a little teared up. What happened was apparently Tony has a listener. I believe he's a listener from a friend. Is that correct?
Yeah, he was introduced to the show through a friend, right?
Okay.
Yes.
And his name is John Rossiello?
John Rusiello.
John Rusiello is a listener of Tony's show, and I hope he's going to be a listener of our show after I heard about him. Tony, do you want to go ahead and tell us what happened and where you were on last week's show?
Well, yeah, you mentioned England last year. That was my one-night trip to England. It was only one night, yeah.
Amazing.
So it's become like an annual event, I think. So John Rusiello, yeah, he's become a very loyal viewer of my show. He's been watching every single day for almost 2 years.
Jesus.
And
That is loyal.
That's right.
Yeah, it's torturous for him.
Intolerant.
Yes.
God in heaven.
And he loves the show so much that he's even donated money to the Nassau County PAL Special Needs Unit, which I'm the president of. He's donated money on a few occasions. So he's also he's 71 and he has leukemia, and it's kicking his ass.
And you said and you can tell just from hearing him discuss his pain that he's taking it on the chin.
Absolutely.
But he's fighting like a fuck though.
Yes,
he's fighting like a warrior.
He's a retired New York City detective.
Jeez.
So he's a tough man.
It's a living hero here.
Absolutely.
And he's battling. And again, we certainly send our prayers to him, and we hope he becomes a viewer of our show. So tell us what happened.
He asked for a Knock 'em Dead comedy shirt.
Okay.
Which is, I said, no problem.
This is going back a couple of weeks ago?
This is going back a few months ago.
Okay.
Then he ordered a particular size that I don't normally have.
Okay.
So I said, all right, well, you have to wait for when I order, make an order next.
Okay.
So I did, and then I ordered one specifically for him.
Okay.
But because he's been so supportive, because of what he's going through, we've developed a relationship with, we'll talk outside of the show on the phone and stuff.
Sure.
So I reached out to my friend who I met John through, and I said, why don't we Well, and truth be told, I looked online. I looked on Priceline.com and I found cheap flights to Florida, round trip, $150.
Unbelievable.
Round trip. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I can spend $150.
I can do this.
So I said to my friend, I said, why don't you spend $150 too? Let's go down to Florida, hand deliver the shirt to him.
Wow.
And that's why I wasn't here last week.
Jeez.
We went Monday night. We coordinated with his wife. She told him that some friends were coming for dinner, so she had him have some steaks out.
Oh, nice.
So she picked us up from the airport. West Palm Beach was the airport. They live about 15 minutes away from the airport. They have a beautiful house in a beautiful area.
That's actually probably cheaper than a steak dinner. It's just spend $150.
Yeah,
Right,
to
just
go
fly.
to Florida. You
Just fly.
can go to
and-
Majors and spend $200.
Just fly to
Yeah,
Florida
right.
and grub a meal off of a guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. We went there. We surprised him. First time we met face to face, I gave him the shirt, and then he cooked us, I think, one of the best steaks I've ever had in my life.
So
That's awesome.
And then we left the next morning. So, we caught a 9:45 flight back, and so 24 hours I was.
I mean, I'm so moved by this, and there is video of it, which maybe we'll post later on. But this guy had no idea that his friends were coming. He never met Tony in person.
That's cool.
And next thing you know, he's got two buddies that he cares for a lot at his doorstep to come in. So that, forget about the shirt. The shirt is kind of an after thing. The fact that was he moved? What was his?
Yeah, he was definitely
Oh
moved.
man,
yeah,
How great is that, Mike?
Yeah, I don't care what anyone says about Tony. He's
Yeah.
a great guy.
And we're constantly
Tony.
battling with people. Like,
I know.
no, he's
he
not a
actually
piece
is
of shit.
He's a good person.
Stop calling him a one-legged bastard. It doesn't matter. It's not true. He's a good person. So I'm curious though. You said you mentioned the steaks a couple of times. Was he just prepared to make you guys steaks, or was it like?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. The
his
wife
said
told him.
friends were coming
yeah,
over.
their
If
friends
you
were
listen-
coming for
If you
steak.
listen to what Tony was saying.
Wait,
before.
so what? Just randos? Just a couple of buddies? Like, what did he think was coming over? What did?
Well, they have some neighbors. They live in a gated community. And yeah, so she told him that some of their some friends that come over regularly.
Some friends in the neighborhood are coming over, so
Right.
have something prepared for them.
Right, and she told them, in case he asks, just say, yeah, you're coming over.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, she was covered.
This was a plot that was planned, and you guys were.
Do they know that you sacrificed Hershey and the Keegs for them?
Yeah, I would think he does
have
know
no
that.
idea.
And he said, the what?
The what?
What?
The what?
Chocolate bars?
I don't like chocolate bars. No, I'm not. I don't like that. You guys were definitely playing a little Russian roulette. Is that easy?
Russian roulette.
Well, that's a different game.
Yeah,
That was
well,
it.
I've played that before.
You were playing Russian roulette here because, considering what he's dealing with, he might have just been having a bad night and might not have been up for people, and it could have been a cancellation. So the fact that this all went through and it went great, and I'm assuming you guys had some yucks and you were hanging out. And,
Yes. Yeah, we just sat in his backyard, a bunch of guys just shooting the shit and having some laughs. They were, probably till about 1 a.m.
Jeez Louise.
Give or take. Yeah. Yeah, and he's just a great guy. You wouldn't have known that we just met in person for the first time. We were just talking all night long, and it was great.
So it's crazy because he definitely felt like he knew you, I'm sure, because he's watched you every day for 2 years. So he knows what a good person you are. He knows what you stand for. Obviously, your buddy is also his buddy. So that was a nice thing, a nice reunion for him. This is a guy that he knows well, I'm assuming.
Very close friend. Yeah.
Very close friend. So he hadn't seen him in a minute.
He goes down regularly. He was just down there over the summer.
Okay.
So
but
they still see each
even
other.
a couple of months, you haven't seen him, a nice surprise. And listen, the fact that he's not feeling well, I'm sure the fact that he got a chance to see his buddy, his new buddy, must have been just unbelievable.
I had no idea what he even looked like.
Oh, really?
He once sent me some pictures of him from the 80s.
Okay.
So I had an idea.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
But
40
a
years
picture
ago.
of you from the 80s to now is almost unrecognizable, though. So,
Correct. For me especially, I had 2 legs.
Yeah, exactly. 2 legs and a nice coif on your head.
Right. I don't know if it was nice. But
I don't know if he's up and listening tonight or if you mentioned it to him.
I did tell him to watch. I don't see him.
If not, it's okay because we're gonna have you send him tomorrow the show, and
Okay.
So he
hopefully
can
he
share it.
watches. So certainly, John, if you're friends with Tony, you're friends with me and Mike, and we hope you decide to listen to our show, and we are rooting for you, my friend.
You never know. Next week, this could be showing up at your door.
Oh my God!
With the
And
steaks ready.
it's gonna require more than steaks though to keep us happy.
He does want me to come back, and he said, "Bring anybody you want."
Yeah, and we're not staying for a night. We're probably going to be there for I'd say for a 3-spot easy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tony came in.
We didn't get a hotel room though. Can we crash here?
Tony came in at 9, had steak, was gone by 9. We're like, what's going on Tuesday?
Exactly. What are you making for breakfast tomorrow?
What do we do here for the next 4 days?
He is going because Governors is putting on a show at a Marriott down there in West Palm.
Yeah.
Carrie and Fat Jay are performing.
And Adam Snare is going to be there also.
John bought tickets. He's going.
That's terrific.
That's what he keeps bugging me. He wants me to go join him, but I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah. Well, if the tickets 150 round tripper.
Yeah, that was If it was more expensive, I probably wouldn't have gone.
Honestly,
you would have. I'm sure.
If you and your buddy went out for dinner to Prime or to Roots Chris,
you're spending
$250.
$250
There's no doubt you're in for more than $150.
Yeah.
I mean, the sautéed broccoli alone is like $40. So
yeah, you're right. I didn't think about it.
Yeah,
that way.
you definitely you actually made money on the deal.
Leave it to the Jewish guy to be like, yeah, financially speaking.
Yeah, you made money on the deal, and yeah, man, I just love it. I think it's totally great tone, and super proud of you that you did that. Not that it's a surprise at all, because this is what you do.
Yeah.
You're a good person,
philanthropist.
and we love you, and we love John now, and we're rooting for you, pal. So that's where Tony was last week during the fateful day of Election Day. It wasn't that Mike was,
People were nervous to be around me.
Right, I don't know.
That's what I thought it was. I'm like, oh god.
No, it wasn't like that at all. And you know what?
Hey, we won.
Yeah, Mike, that's right.
John is watching.
Oh, nice. Hey, John.
Hi, John. I think that we don't ever talk about politics on here, but there was something that happened during the last show that I'm gonna give Mike a little bit of a chance to gloat like you just did right now. That his boy, Trump. You're a Trump lover, and you're very respectful on the show. That we don't talk either way about it. But
that was our agreement from the beginning.
Yeah, we don't. But Sandy Hackett had thrown in something about what did he say during our show that we didn't ask for
nothing.
at all.
And it was a great interview, and then the last 10 seconds he just had to go, with all the election stuff going on in this country, and God forbid he wins, it'll be, I think he called it a moose fuck.
A moose fuck,
which I've never heard in my life.
Yeah, so Mike and I, we talked about it after the show, and certainly that was unwelcomed either way. I don't care who you like or who you don't like.
It's our show, but I'm on the show, and I don't talk politics on here. And he comes on and has to throw in his 2 cents.
Uncalled for.
And I out of respect for you, I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And
you did a great job. I
don't like
appreciate
biting my tongue on my own show, but guess what, Sandy? We're all moose fucked now.
Yeah, that's right. Mike was moose fucking all Tuesday night.
Right.
Yeah, so kudos to Mike, and hopefully whatever happens, who you voted for, you didn't. I don't really give a shit. Like I posted on my Facebook, but if you're a Trump hater and you're rooting against our country, please stop doing that. If you're a Trump lover, you don't need to rub it in people's faces. Let's just move forward here. Let's just move forward and let's be okay and get along and love each other and hold each other. And I mean right now. Let's do that.
Let's hold each other
right
and
now.
And then we're going to put on some more advertisements and we'll be back.
That's it. We'll be back next week. So we'll fast forward to this weekend. As a lot of you know, yesterday was the 7-year anniversary of Papa Hersh passing, and of course it was a rough day for me, as it always is, and I just obliterate you people to death with that talk, but that's who I am, and that's just the way it is. So I did what I always do on the anniversary of my father's passing. I go to the funeral. I go to a new funeral every time. I'm like, hey, I'm here. This is not, my dad died a while ago, but I feel like I want to relive the whole experience. I'm like, I'm sorry, Mr. Goldblatt's family, but I'm not dressed.
This is for me.
This is for me.
You make somebody else's funeral about
you.
You
Just go on with your weeping and whatever you're going to do.
Exactly.
So I go to the cemetery, and once I'm done with the cemetery, I usually like to just do nothing for the rest of the day. Fetal ball, bet horses, just chill, you know. And I'm not even pulling out of the cemetery when I start getting bombarded with text from Stacy and Max. We're going to the city today, and you're coming with us.
Oh my God!
Now you could have told me a lot of things that I was going to do yesterday, and that was going to be number one.
You don't want to go to the city on a
every
normal
day, every day, just because. And I used to love the city, but it's crazy because the city has become a big, hot, steaming pile of shit. Yeah. But anyway, you know what? They wanted to do something. It was a beautiful day, and the truth is, me sitting around and crying in a fetal position, betting horses, probably was not the most productive way to spend my day. So I did kind of rally myself a little bit, and we got in the car and we drove to the city. I did not want to deal with trains and shit like that, so we drove in. Okay, and I got into the car and it was like 55 minutes. You know, like it wasn't a bad thing. Yeah. But there was some happenstance, as you can imagine, with anything Mark Hirschman related. There's going to be some sort of.
You're a sitcom.
It felt like a sitcom. So what happened was, we go off the Midtown Tunnel, and I couldn't get across town, and I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. They kept on sending me back to like Lexington and 3rd, and then eventually I just parked right by the Midtown Tunnel, like 32nd and 3rd or whatever it is, and I'm like, all right, this is not bad because we're gonna just get out of here with no traffic later on, right? No traffic whatsoever. Make that even closer on Mike's head.
Jesus
Oh
Christmas.
my goodness. Lord in heaven. It's an advertisement for large heads. Yeah. So, yeah, if you want to buy a big head, pay attention to Hershey and the Keegs.
You put an advertisement on my forehead.
So we parked the car. Now, the two goals for this particular trip, we weren't going to be there for more than 3 or 4 hours. So it wasn't like we're going to a museum, we're not going to World Trade, nothing like that. We wanted to do one thing that Max wanted to do, which was head to Penn Station for the Raising Cane's that's in Penn Station.
Okay.
He's only had Raising Cane's once, which was in like Miami Beach this past summer. He wanted to try it again. He knew there was one in the city, so that was the goal, to get to Penn Station and then to walk over to Bryant Park, where they have a beautiful outdoor festival every day with shops and ice skating, and Stacy wanted to do that. Okay. So we get out of the car and we're walking like 2 or 3 blocks, and Stacy's like, what is this? We're walking like I said, well, that's what you have to do. And I yell out to her. This was like the only contentious, what's the word? Contentious moment.
In a contest.
We were at a contest. I'm like, let's see how fast we could walk. We had a walking contest. So this was like the only contentious moment we had. I said, Stacy, you have to walk. And just as I said that you have to walk, I locked eyes with a guy in a wheelchair walking my direction. And I'm like, how did that just happen like that? So I locked eyes with him, and of course I got the douche
chills. Did you say something to him?
No, I just got.
Not you, sir.
No, you don't. You don't ever have to walk with your polio little riddled legs. Don't ever walk. Just stay there, saturated in piss like usual.
Just sit there, Lieutenant Dan.
Sit there, Lieutenant. Right. So we get up to 30. It was like 32nd and like 5th, and we start to hear like tambourines and drums, and I'm like, so Stacy's like, is there a fucking parade? And I'm like, what would a parade being going on right now at this point in the day? So we get up to the street to 5th Avenue, and we are in the middle of the Veterans Day parade.
Oh, Veterans! I was trying to think. I'm like, is it the Puerto Rican parade?
No, the Veterans Day parade is rolling down 5th Avenue. Okay, and it was almost comical, like a Ferris Bueller movie. Like we were just walking, trying to get across to Penn Station, and there's a parade going right by.
I wasn't even thinking.
So you
can just pretend I'm the most patriot guy. I came all the way in the city just for the Veterans Day parade.
So we walk up, and as we're going by, it was just like Kismet. The WABC Channel 7 news float walks by, and I notice right in the float is Ernie Anastas. He's right there, and he's not paying attention to anyone, and nobody recognizes him. You know who Ernie Anastas is, obviously.
Of course. Yeah.
And so as we walk up and we realize we're in the parade, I yell out, Ernie Anastas! And he's like, hey! and he just waves at me. And of course we're cracking up.
Hershey.
Like, what are the chances of this, you know? So we get to the thing. We stay there for a couple of minutes, and some old like drunken soldier hands us like the flags, little flags, and I'm waving it, whatever, you know. And this guy, you could tell he was like a little surly, you know. Yeah. And I happened to say at one point, I'm like, shit, I just realized we can't get across to get to Penn Station. So I just happened to say, when is this parade going to end? I swear to God. I said, when's this parade going to end? And if it's not going to end, what street can I go down to get across? And then he turns to me, he goes, is this an inconvenience to you?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I was like, a little bit. Like, it's kind of a little bit an inconvenience to me.
People who lost limbs and friends and were in the on the front lines so you had the
spit it out.
So you had the privilege to go into the city
for Raising Cane's
and speak English.
That's right.
That's an inconvenience for you.
But I wasn't.
You won't get fried chicken and orange sauce.
Here's the thing: that sauce was out fucking outrageous, by the way. But what I said to him was, I said it came out wrong. I'm not complaining about this. I'm just saying if I want to get around it, what is my best way? And so he was not happy with that.
It would have been the same if you just said, "Are you guys almost done?"
Right. What's with this bullshit?
Are you going to do this every year?
It's like, is this necessary? And I was thinking to myself, but my next question is, why was this parade starting so late? Aren't parades usually done with in the morning? Like, why is it 3:00 in the afternoon and this fucking parade is still happening? Right?
True. Yeah, true.
So,
and did you ask Ernie to be a guest?
So I asked. No, Ernie was already gone, but I should have. Man. But the guy was like,
Pig Vomit was there. He would have asked Ernie.
Pig Vomit would have. So the guy's like, you can go down to 23rd and get across, you know. So of course we didn't want to like immediately go.
Okay.
So we stayed around and we whipped the flag around a little bit, and then I was like, all right, we're gonna go. Thanks for your service. And then we walked down, and of course the happiest moment of the day was that we did not have to go all the way down to 23rd. 30th it had stopped. Like everyone had gotten through because it was coming from downtown, so it was going up. So we just got across on 30th, and we got to Raising Cane's, and it was it was a victorious day.
Was great, and you got to Bryant Park and everything.
Bryant Park was fantastic. Which leads me, how do you
offended one lifelong hero?
But what do you feel about this? Like, when someone says in all seriousness now, if someone says to a veteran, Happy Veterans Day, is Veterans Day a day that, like, if you had your leg blown off in Korea, do you wanna stop that, please?
I just saw your larynx.
You just saw my tonsils. Do you want to be wished a happy? What do you think? I mean, I'm not a veteran, neither are you. And
I've spoken to a friend about what you say on these holidays. Yeah, a friend of mine, my friend Brant, who went to West Point, and he's an Army guy, played lacrosse at West Point.
Sure.
He mentioned, he said, you don't say Happy Veterans Day, you say thank you for your service on Veterans Day. You don't say Happy Veterans Day. Memorial Day, you don't say Happy Memorial Day. You say it's a somber day. So you just do a somber Memorial Day.
These are days where you honor them, but you
don't say happy.
The thing that's gone on in our country is that people just look at these days as a day off, and they're happy because they're off from work.
Yeah, I wasn't off, so I didn't.
Right, so it wasn't a happy day for you whatsoever.
It wasn't a happy day anyway for me.
But saying Happy Memorial Day, I got a text yesterday from Chili's saying if you're a veteran, you can get a free chicken quesadilla. Like, is that the reward that you get?
Yeah, the least we could do is give you diabetes.
Yeah, you're missing a leg from World War II. Yeah. But here's some
processed shit.
Here's some salsa and chips.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if that's the right way to go.
Yeah, I mean, they feel like it's the least they could do.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. But we're very pro military on this show. Yeah. We're pro veterans. We're pro POWs and MIAs, and
we're not pro MIAs.
Well, we're not. No, I don't mean like pro them becoming MOAs.
Okay, we don't want them to be missing, but we want them to be found.
No, we're the found ones.
Okay,
you know what I mean.
We like the found.
No,
ones.
I'm saying someone who's ever been an MIA and has come back.
Okay,
but we're also
what about the ones that didn't come back?
We care for them also.
Okay.
We care for all of them. We care for all of them.
No.
We're not pro that they were gone.
We're not pro. We support them. How about
What
that?
did Trump once say about when he had an argument with McCain?
Yeah.
I like the ones who
That
didn't get hurt.
caught.
Didn't get caught. Yeah, that wasn't one of his winners. But
No.
Sandy Hackett, too bad.
Yeah.
So thank you to our
Sandy
military.
Hackett might have won the World Series, but we won the world.
That's right. There you go.
Oh,
Now the floodgates have been
right.
opened by Sandy Hackett.
right, yeah.
The floodgates have been opened. So again, thanks to our veterans. Thanks to that
thank you for
surly
your
guy.
service.
And thanks to Raising Cane's for making Max's day super, super happy.
Yeah, Max
'Cause
enjoyed it.
Max loved the Raising Cane's.
What do you get? Chicken tenders and orange
He
sauce?
got the chicken tenders, orange sauce. He got Dr. Pepper with a refill.
Nice.
Did
Did he put the chicken tender on the Texas toast?
He did. His meal came with Texas toast. He did not make a sandwich of it.
No,
but
you got to make the sets.
I never even thought of that.
You got to put the tender on the Texas toast and then dip it in the orange sauce.
I never had Raising Cane's before, but I thought it was pretty good. He got a 6-piece, so me and Stacy can have a chicken tender each because we weren't really going to be eating that. And then we actually indulged on Pickle Me Pete's, which is in Hicksville.
Yeah.
Actually had a Pickle Me Pete stand in
Is
Bryant
there one-
Park.
Oh, really? Is there
Same
one?
guy,
I know
same
the Hicksville.
people.
Oh, really? No.
Yeah. And those pickles are out of this world.
Yeah.
They're just totally out of this world. So me and Stace had some pickles. Max had some Raising Cane's. And we got in the car right onto the tunnel, like literally made a left. We were home in 50 minutes.
That's awesome.
So, I did mention this yesterday in the car. For all the people who are always picking up and looking to go to Myrtle and North Carolina and Florida, what I said to both Max and Stacy, and they somewhat agreed, although they fought one part of it, where else could you be in the world where you are close to the beach, you're close to New York City, Yankee Stadium, Citi Field, Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
I had a slip in Belmont and Aqueduct, and they both said, we don't ever want to go to either one of those places, and nobody else does either, so please stop saying that. But my point is that you can...
There's something for everyone.
You can have all your issues with New York and Long Island and the taxes and everything, but man, it's, the fact that we were able to pick up, hop in the car, and be at a Veterans Day parade yesterday was pretty,
Unintentionally.
right?
But you know what? And then you drive an hour and a half up north, and you're in just a beautiful, secluded
Westchester, Seneca Falls, Saratoga, Binghamton.
Anywhere in 2 hours. You could be by the beach. You could be in the city. You could be in
Right.
the middle of the woods and in a
Yeah.
cabin.
Right.
You don't get that in Florida.
I'd like to go to the middle of the woods with a cabin with you. That would
I know,
be
that'd
very
be
nice. That would be really
It
nice.
sounds wonderful, especially now when the leaves are changing.
Oh, it does change. It definitely
Yeah.
changes. There's no question
changes,
about
man.
it. Which brings me to what we did this weekend. Before that, Stacy, Max. Oh, not Max. It was just me and Stacy actually went away. Max was home with shuffling around with friends. He had a basketball tournament, and Anna.
I saw the party at the house.
Yeah. He raged a little bit.
Yeah.
We went. It was fraternity and sorority parent weekend up in Binghamton, where the sororities and fraternities set up dinners for their families with them, and then optionally you could go out partying with your child.
Did you go out partying?
And not only did we go to the dinner and the what do you call that, the pre-gaming situation thingamajig,
Yep.
we also
that's
went.
where they drink before they drink.
We went to not one but 2 frat parties.
Wow.
And when I will tell you that one was more despicably disgusting than the next. It's certainly, I will tell you that it gave me joy to see my beautiful daughter Anna, and we saw Samantha earlier. She does not usually involve herself in that type of thing, so she went out with her friends to see a play or do something play related. But to see Anna in her element, the sorority element, and partying, and her friends are just the best. Totally
Keg
amazing
stands,
people.
hanging out of windows.
The first party we went into essentially a dungeon of a building, and it was picture Old School or Animal House, and it was that amped up times 10. There was a DJ and people just flying all over the place, but the rest of the dungeon was just like, just garbage and just detritus. It was despicable, but yet amazing at the same time because the kids were super having fun, and I was super excited for her and her friends.
And it brings you back. Did you go to a lot of frat parties when you were
No,
younger,
not really. I mean, I wasn't. I was a commuter for the most part.
I was too, but when I went to visit friends at colleges and stuff, that was really cool stuff.
I wasn't a frat party guy. We used to stay around and just pound at my friends' houses and such. The second place was, they said it's a little bit of a walk, and we got into this. They said go into the white door, and it was just basically like in a building in the middle of Binghamton, and you had to walk up about 475 steps to get to this. I mean, I can't even explain it to you. All I know is that one of Anna's friends, her bestie and her roommate, Emmer, her dad, Eric, who's a super awesome dude, somehow is now a new fraternity member of Pike Fraternity. He pledged, he rushed, he pledged, and he got into the fraternity.
Good for him.
And now he looks like
Anna, your dad and Emma's dad are making out upstairs.
Yeah, he just, I have to tell you, when you see, this, and you know this also, Tony, but when you see your children happy, there's like nothing better. It's the greatest gift. And then to see that not only does she have great friends, but her friends have great parents that I think over the years we're going to grow even closer with. It really gave me a lot of joy. And it gave me a little bit of sciatica pain from walking up the 600 floors. But all in all, it was a super weekend.
That's great.
There was a little bit of a blip on the radar, I'll be honest with you. And everyone got along fine. Me and Stacy got along great, and with the other families. But there was one point that we were walking around and we saw some people get out of a car, and they went into their trunk, and it looked like they were like going to a party because they had balloons in the car. Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's usually the sign.
Yeah.
That you're going to
So
a party.
they opened up the car, and we thought that two balloons just flew out and went up into the air. So both of us screamed out, "No!" Like we felt badly. It turns out they were just letting balloons go memorial for somebody who had passed. And we were fighting with them to not honor their fallen relative, thinking that they had lost two balloons they got from Party City.
Excuse me, your black balloons got away.
Right. So we were like, no! We literally almost ran to the car to help them not lose the rest of their balloons.
Did you know, Grandpa?
They were just letting balloons go in honor of cousin Jimmy. So that was a little bit of a faux pas there. But
your balloons got away. You coming to the Rager with us?
Speaking of Eric, Anna's good friend Emmer's dad, we were having conversation at one point, and we were talking about they live like in the Valhalla, like White Plains area,
like the Nordic.
What?
Where the Vikings used to live?
What? Valhalla.
Valhalla, that's where the Vikings
No, this
live.
is Valhalla is like a...
Isn't that Viking heaven?
I don't know. They say it's a hamlet. I don't even know what that means.
No, it's when the Vikings die. They go to Valhalla.
All right, so they weren't at that one.
Okay,
but
the other one.
They were at... they live in this White Plains area, and we were talking about the different theaters. They have like different theaters near them where some comics perform. And he's like, yeah, I go to this one. I've seen this band a million times that I love. Me and my friends, you probably never heard of them, but we love OAR.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I love this guy.
And I'm like, oh my God. Like,
my God.
I have heard more about OAR in my life. I'm like,
You're going to come aboard soon.
And I'm like, it's not really a name that you hear people, like they'll say, I've seen Zeppelin 35 times, or James Taylor or Billy Joel.
Yep.
And he said OAR.
Oh, dude.
And I'm like, that's so funny. And I said, we are having someone from the band on the show.
Yeah.
We just have to, I have to remind Mike 650 times to do
I got to
it.
message him this week because I'm actually going to see the lead singer in like 2 weeks.
Mark Roberge.
Yeah. Him and
this guy, Eric knew all of it. He knew all of it. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if Eric's if his contact information, if he's going to see them at the Capitol Theater. I'm going in a couple weeks.
Where is that?
It's like
Valhalla.
It's in Valhalla. No, it's like Portchester.
That's the place he was saying, the Capitol Theater.
Oh, so yeah, he's going to be there.
Oh, no, he's 100%.
Is he going?
100%.
Is Eric going?
Yes.
Me and Eric are going to meet up. My cousin's an usher there.
Yeah.
I'll get him some nice seats.
Wait, your cousin's Ursher?
Ursher? My cousin was at Diddy parties.
He's an
no, he's
usher.
actually Usher. He's opening up
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
He's the R&B singer Usher.
Oh, okay. No, the Capitol Theater is what Eric had said.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm sure Eric is going to the show.
He's 100% going to the show.
I'm going with my cousin Tim.
Yeah.
And
when is that?
Eric meet up with me. It is December 12th, I believe. No. December 12th. We'll talk about it in a few.
Oh, because I have
we have something else.
Oh, wait a second. It better not be December 12th.
No, it's not. It's December 19th.
December 19th.
The following Thursday.
Do you guys have tickets for this event already?
I have tickets already, yeah.
Should I try to pick up a single and go with you guys?
Oh, dude, that would be awesome.
All right.
I'm
going to make a notation and see what's happening in the world that day. But it is the Capitol Theater.
It's a two-man show, so he's not only doing OAR shows, he's going to do a lot of covers and stuff, so you might recognize a bunch of the songs.
Yeah, no, dude. I mean, listen, we joke about it, but now that this happened, it definitely was like, all right, I got into this band a little bit.
Dude, they're the best, man.
Yeah. So that was that. It was a great weekend. How was your weekend? I know that you had texted me during the week at some point that you need to talk to me about Halloween, and that's what you do. Like, that's how this show works, and it works for us. Is that I do all the sweat, pain, grieving, worrying.
I think of something, I go, just remind me, and I'll remember.
Hey, secretary bitch,
exactly,
just go ahead and make a note of this.
Exactly.
So you wrote told me to say
you remind me, and then I'll remember what I said. But now I don't even remember what I. No, I'm kidding.
Halloween story. I know you spent some time with Juliana. Tell me what happened.
So we had a great Halloween. Halloween was awesome.
Yeah.
We did. Juliana has 8 different costumes that you have to get her every year. Mm-hmm. But we did. We started off. There's a street in Lynbrook. They close off the whole street, and the place just gets packed. But all the houses are super into it.
What are they doing? It's like a...
So it's just trick-or-treating.
Oh, trunk or treat? Like that kind of thing?
It's not even trunk-or-treat. It's a regular trick-or-treating, but there's no cars ever going up or down the block. Okay. So just hundreds of people go there because every house is into it. They overdo the decorations and stuff, so it's awesome.
Okay.
And then we went trick-or-treating by the house in Freeport with her friends and stuff.
Okay.
But the next day I woke up and I'm just like, kids are so soft now. Like, remember when we were kids?
Yeah.
And Halloween, you would wake up the next morning, every street is full of eggs and shaving cream. I used to come home and I used to look like the abominable snowman.
Yeah, covered in shaving cream and eggs. Yeah.
My dad would buy me a carton of eggs, and we'd, you remember the
melt the shaving cream, put a needle in it.
Melt it, put the needle in it so it sprays.
Yep.
We had paintball guns. Like, we did crazy stuff. You know what I did? But now the kids, I'll tell you what I did. How crazy it used to be, but now the streets are clean. Because
what did you had said there was something you did that you didn't know if you wanted to mention on the show.
The kids don't do anything now. There's no shaving cream, no eggs.
No eggs.
Juliana wanted to be home by 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock to watch a show
because her legs hurt.
Right.
They want to get home and go on the Xbox
and eat their candy
we used to do all that. So we used to do eggs, shaving cream. You know what I did with them?
What?
I shit in a pumpkin.
Right in a pumpkin.
Right in a pumpkin.
Yeah, you shit in a pumpkin. Now, was that just because you had nowhere else to go, or is it because you were looking to leave a treat for someone?
Tell you the story. So it's like high school.
Yeah.
I mean,
10th grade.
10th grade.
Yeah, that's usually when your wacky shit went on.
That's when you're just roaming the streets and everything's exciting on Halloween. Mm-hmm. But you're walking around, you're drinking PBRs, you're eating Snicker bars. Mm-hmm. Your stomach gets a little upset.
Yeah, you get the gurglies. You get the.
So we're all walking around. Nobody wants to stop at McDonald's or anything.
They won't wait for Keegan.
So nobody's gonna wait. So I go, guys, watch this.
Watch this.
And you grab somebody's pumpkin.
Yeah, you just pop open the jack-o'-lantern. You just pop it open.
I told them I had to take it. A little. So you go to the side of the house.
Had to do a little Cleveland steamer.
I thought it was gonna be like a little Tootsie Roll. I dropped in there.
Yeah.
No, it was a full.
This was like a
full explosive diarrhea.
This was like a Tom Carvel chocolate loop.
Yeah, I pulled the top off and I almost filled that thing up.
You almost filled a fucking
almost filled it up.
Yeah.
But it was seriously exactly coming out of the eyes, coming out of the mouth. I almost filled it.
Oh my God, that jack-o'-lantern's got shit coming out of its eyes.
Just trying to be like a little mischievous, you know?
Yeah.
I thought a little turd.
Right, a little turd. Go ahead, and no one knows the difference.
Liquid-filled pumpkin.
You're a disgusting savage.
So
you're a fucking animal.
I put it back on there, stupid.
Right.
I put the lid back on.
Right. Yeah, that's it.
Imagine you're them, and you wake up the next morning.
This pumpkin smells like shit, Mary. Get rid of this goddamn thing.
Diarrhea flowing out of the.
Right. Mommy, can we make the seeds out of the pumpkins this year? No, I think we're going to skip that this year.
A lot of people get mad because the squirrels eat your pumpkins.
Yeah, not yours.
Yeah, it was
not that one.
I filled that thing up.
Yeah.
But
you're an animal.
Oh, what I'm basically trying to say is kids don't have the kind of fun that we used to have.
No, not that kind of fun. They don't.
Yeah.
And you know,
You
again,
ever shit in a pumpkin, Mark?
I've never done that, and you got me mad twice this week. Now that you shit in someone's pumpkin, and
that made you mad. That was
no, because this the other day. It was
young tomfoolery.
This is not the first time this has happened, and we've talked about this on the show before. Is that sometimes I'll be scrolling on social media, and the way it works on Facebook is that you can a post will pop up if one of your Facebook friends makes a comment on a random post, and then you don't know why the post came up until you actually see the comment. So on my feed, a post shows up. It's a handicapped child sitting in a wheelchair. Okay, Tony? It's a kid in a wheelchair, and he is having a smooch with a dog. Okay, and it's the most adorable picture. Okay,
right.
It's a kid clearly in a wheelchair, and like some sort of basset hound type of thing. And they're having like a little kissing moment. And the verbiage was on a scale from 1 to 10. How beautiful is this photo? Okay, that was the thing. And all the comments are like 200, 1,000. This is the infinity. And then I just see Mike Keegan 3. I'm like, this fucking savage.
I think I gave it a Dave Portnoy 3.2 because that's a rookie score is an even 3.
I wrote down 3 is how I remember it. Every score is like way higher than 10. Infinity, most beautiful picture ever, and he writes 3.
Well, first of all, he said 1 to 10. These people are ridiculous going over 10.
Right. Yeah.
But honestly, that was my honest opinion.
Yeah, I guess
I didn't
it
like
was.
the kid's shirt. Mm-hmm. And I don't like German Shepherd dogs. It was a German Shepherd.
I wasn't sure. It was some kind of a shepherd. I wasn't positive what it was.
It was a
And
German
did you
Shepherd.
see him picking on the poor comedian whose girlfriend was attacked? You know,
What happened? I don't know the story.
One of our comedian friends, his girlfriend got attacked by a transgendered person.
Is this for real?
Yeah.
This week it happened?
Yeah.
What?
You know the guy from Long Island comic that dresses like a pirate a lot.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, apparently, and it's just kind of sad. So his girlfriend got attacked by a neighbor who is transitioning, but a lot of people were attacking him because he pointed out that it's a transgendered person. Like, why do you even have to say that? Whatever. But so he made a separate post saying, you know,
God, I
this
miss
is
all
what
this stuff.
This is why I had to mention it was a transgendered person. Blah blah blah. You know, I had to make this point, and it was a female to a male, a female to a male. So if I hit a woman, I'd be persecuted, and that's
Right.
why I had to make it. It's not like I mentioned their race, so I didn't even say I'm sorry or anything. I just said, well, what was the race?
Oh, so you're looking to add fuel to the fire.
Because I could probably guess.
And was that accurate? Did you get the answer you were looking for?
Privately, he messaged me and said,
yeah.
yes, my suspicions were confirmed.
Yeah. I know who the comic is. We won't mention their name, but I know based on what you're saying. Is his girlfriend okay?
It's okay. Yeah, they had a CAT scan. Everything was good. She's a little banged up.
What was the cause of the attack?
Apparently the person's just mentally ill. And,
okay.
And they had some kind of words, and
Yeah.
he thinks it's because of a hormone treatment that they're taking in the transition process.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
you know, but the girlfriend's okay. She's a little banged up, but
That sounds pretty freaking scary to me.
yeah.
Well, I'm glad that she's okay, and I'm glad that you're okay, because something
I'll be fine.
could have happened to you there.
Exactly.
You know who's not okay, which it's a little bit out of the news, but it's something that we really need to address because we were both touched by it. The Peanut the squirrel. Peanut the squirrel.
Well, we were all ready to go talking about it last week, and then Tony bailed on us to go vacation in Florida.
To go eat steak. to go eat steak in Florida. So Peanut the squirrel, for any of you who don't know, and I can't imagine there's any of you who don't know, but Peanut the squirrel was a domesticated pet at a home of a couple people who run an animal rescue on their property. They have 144 horses and dogs and you name it, but Peanut the squirrel was their domesticated squirrel that they rescued 7 years ago. They also had a raccoon that they had rescued a few months ago.
Fred the raccoon.
Fred, and apparently apparently there was a neighbor who had ratted them out, and then before you know it,
they voted for.
There was you're getting this out of your system today. Yeah. Before you know it, there was I guess feds there was cops and U.S. Marshals and all this shit, and they came and they took Peanut and Fred.
Yep.
And apparently during this episode, Peanut had bit one of the people, or the capture people, and next thing you know, Peanut was taken back, and because he had to be tested for feline, what was it? He had
rabies.
Rabies, that's the word. Thank
Feline,
you. I don't know. I'm thinking of feline AIDS, but he had to be tested.
Why would a squirrel have feline AIDS?
I don't know. Well, I guess they figured that out. Apparently, the only way you can test for rabies is by testing an animal's brain, and the only way you can do that is by having them deceased. Yeah. So the saddest story ever got sadder when they had to put down Peanut. I don't know if they put down the
put down the raccoon. They euthanized both animals. So.
Christ almighty. So that's very sad.
But Peanut was the big attraction. You know, if you've seen the TikTok videos this guy put up.
Of course.
He's a talented squirrel.
Talented squirrel. And I will tell you, at first glance, I was very touched by the thing, but then when you do a little bit of a deeper dive, you realize that the couple, or at least the guy who was the handler of this, was in this for more than just rescuing pets.
You knew something was up with the videos. You see the absolute hog hammer this guy had in his pants?
This guy had a 2-foot donkey cock. It was
exactly
unbelievable.
Taps for Peanut.
Yeah,
but
he had this huge hammer and the biggest, juiciest tushy ever.
Oh my goodness! I know.
I'm like, I want to bite that thing.
Seriously,
you know?
it was right. There was one where he was like coming out of the refrigerator, and I thought it was like a chick's butt, and I was like, oh, nice.
I need some of that.
It was him.
Yeah,
and he's just got this giant piece on him.
Oh my God! He
turns around. He wears these tight sweatpants.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a second. He has a squirrel, a raccoon, and a hog.
Yeah,
all in the.
They forgot to confiscate the ferret that he has in his pants.
Oh my God in heaven!
Oh my God!
So me and Danny Cohen, our beloved friend, stand-up comic Danny Cohen, who we love, he went on to tell me, that no, we're not posting that. We're not posting that. I don't think that's him, actually.
It is.
He went on to tell me that he is part of that guy's OnlyFans page.
Yeah.
That guy has an OnlyFans page.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're not going to knock him for it, because he probably uses some of that funding to help subsidize this rescue that he has on his property with the dogs and the cats and the horses and all that
Silver
stuff.
Spoon and
Little Boy Blue and the Little Man on the Moon.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let me tell you, Little Boy Blue isn't so little.
No,
you know? And he's not blue either. I can tell you that much. He is enormous in every way.
But the guy's like doing porn on OnlyFans.
Yeah. So
it's just these wholesome squirrel hugging, kissing videos.
I just expected to watch a guy and a squirrel, and next thing you know, I see this big meat locker sitting there.
Seriously,
like, what the hell?
The guy wears the tightest sweatpants. It's just, oh my goodness, I can't stop thinking about it.
It's funny how the squirrel's been dead for 2 weeks, yet you've been on the guy's page every day since then, though. It's just crazy.
Yeah. And it's so funny that the government decides to take action because a squirrel's being illegally housed.
Right.
But
Mike is just letting go. Thanks, Sandy.
If that squirrel was El Salvadorian, they put it up in a hotel.
We have sponsors that we're representing. I don't remember that now. I was proud of you. You sent me 2 things this week, not just the shit in a pumpkin story, but you sent me something else that I don't know if this was something that touched close to home because you're infected by it, but you sent me a link that the Toronto is getting a restaurant where all of the food is made by chefs. Chefs? What's the word?
Chefs.
Chefs. Is made by chefs living with HIV. And this is a real story.
Yeah, it is.
That what hit you about that story that you felt that you needed to share with me?
Just I thought if you were looking for some part-time work.
I set him up.
Because I just like reading stories about inclusivity.
Yeah.
Inclusivity.
Oh, you're very big on inclusivity, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
These people are, 20 years ago they'd be ostracized.
Yeah.
And now they're making my tuna tartare.
You're big on inclusivity, Mike.
They don't let them use knives though.
You check your Colombian girlfriend for weapons every day, and you're big on inclusivity though. So this restaurant,
we will be sending her to the finest re-education camp once.
Yes,
January 7th.
I was very excited. I did see that you made a post, a picture of Carla at the brokerage. You didn't tell me anything about this show, but apparently. Carla murdered the other day at brokerage from what I hear.
Yeah,
what was the show? I don't know anything about it.
It's the fundraiser, one of the Sunday night fundraisers of the brokerage the other night.
Yeah, you were both on it or just
no, just Carla.
Okay,
I stopped down there to say hello. A couple of my friends, Keith Anthony was there, Tim Crompier.
Wow,
so it was a good hang.
Packed room,
absolutely packed, and Carla just killed, absolutely killed.
Was she hosting or just doing a spot?
No, Joe Cravella was hosting.
Joe Cravella, okay.
It was a great show. They had a great show going on there, and it was really
you and I have said this. You've done a lot more comedy rooms than I have. I've done, I don't travel the road like you do, but I think we can agree when we say that there is no better comedy room than brokerage. Packed,
100%,
180 people, 200, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. If you have that room filled and that you get the laughs going, there's no better feeling
in the country. I've been to California. The only one that's similar kind of is the Ice House in Pasadena.
Oh, right, okay.
It's a great club, but it just reminds me so much of the brokerage.
Sure.
And listen, like right now we're sitting in Governor's Comedy Club, which is the flagship club.
Yeah,
of the
another incredible room. Yeah.
It was my Yankee Stadium when I was growing up. It was just like that was the comedy club.
Yeah, it still is.
And I love it. It's still a thrill when you get on the stage here, but that room at the brokerage is so conducive to comedy.
Yeah, I feel like for me there's a kinship because it's the first time I ever held a mic in my hands.
Sure.
And just because of the intimacy of the way it's built and it's a little bit smaller, it's just a killer. So
would you like to hold a mic in your hands?
I'd like to hold you mic in my hands, which will bring us into a nice little segue as we close the show. Segue. We decided, Mike and I, that it's time for another Herschy and Keegs spectacular, and some clapping feature, please, Tone. Thank you. So we're gonna put this out. Hopefully, it'll be on the it'll be on the website by tomorrow. But please circle your calendars right now, and we're going to put the ticket links out hopefully by tomorrow or the next day. December 12th at the Brokerage Comedy Club in Belmore, New York. Herschy and the Keegs show is going live. Not the show is going live, but we're going live as stand-up comedians.
Performing stand-up comedy.
And, basically the show is going to consist of myself and Mikey and Boy Friday, our boy Jakey Chapman, Mike's buddy Hugh Van Will, another guy named Mike
Kurz. Mike Kurz is going to be on the show, great new comic.
And Mike what's the other guy's name?
Mike Delaquilla is going to be on the show, another young up-and-coming talent.
Yeah, he's terrific. And certainly the piece de resistance that is both Mike and I's favorite, I would say, is the legendary Keith Anthony will be doing some time that day. So
wonderful.
This is going to be the show to end all shows.
Yeah, it is.
Seeing Keith at the brokerage is like nothing else you've ever seen before.
Like I said, the last time, when you produced a show with Brian Kennedy years ago.
9 years ago, yeah.
All the comics at the brokerage sit at the bar.
Yeah.
When Keith Anthony was on stage, wall-to-wall people, sold out. Every comic was huddled in the little
vestibule. Oh, thank you. Yeah, good word.
The little vestibule.
Yeah.
Watching Keith Anthony because that's how good he is and that's how respected he is by other comics.
He's respected. He's wonderful. He intermittently performs, doesn't perform. But when I and Mikey sent him a text, it was instantly, I love you guys. I love performing with you guys. I'll be there. Yeah. And that doesn't always happen.
Exactly.
So the fact that we're going to have him on our show and doing probably 20, 25 minutes is going to be just fantastic.
Yeah.
So
if you go to one show this year, that's the show.
That's the show. So don't miss that. And so we're super excited about that. And we're at the end of the line here. So Mikey, what do you have to promote besides 12/12? What else you got going on?
12/12 is the big one this weekend. Friday night, I'll be at the Strand Theater in Seymour, Connecticut.
Okay.
Raising money for the the Connecticut Hurricanes marching band, bugle and drum corps.
Okay, that's a big one.
Yeah,
Good.
that's a big one.
It's you, J.J. Boyd. Who else? Yeah. Good. Nice.
No, it's gonna be Nikki Smiggs. Nikki Smiggs will be
Shut
there.
up.
Yeah.
Oh, have you talked to Nikki?
Me and I haven't spoken to him.
Oh, reach out. Definitely
I'm
reach
gonna
out.
hit him up this week and maybe we'll get him back on the show. Me, Johnny Benson, Nikki Smiggs. And,
that's a sick
Billy
show.
Wynn. Oh, it's gonna be a great one.
That's a sick show.
And then Saturday I will be on Staten Island doing a cancer fundraiser with Tommy Gooch and what they got? Vince August. Vince August.
That's another killer show.
Another good show.
Tommy Gooch has been out there killing it, I heard.
Yeah.
So good. You got some good shit coming up,
Yeah,
bro.
if anybody's in Connecticut or Staten Island, hit me up.
That's really good. Okay. And Anthony, what do you have coming up, my friend?
So after you go see Herschy and the Keegs on the 12th, come join us on the 13th in the Giggle Room. Mike Pacchetti is hosting. It's a Gov's Comedy Club podcast production. Mark Riccadonna and Don Jameson.
Wow.
It's going to be a fun show.
That's a killer.
Yeah. And they're going to do a Q&A after the show as well. And then December 21st, come to McGuire's to join us with a murder mystery show.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Listen, thank you guys for watching today. As usual, share the show. We've been getting some growth, which is awesome. As you can see, we have some new sponsors. Make sure that when you contact Demo Specialists, Angela's Bra Boutique, James Nocerino's Painting Company, Impressions Dance, Sunray Heating and Air, Bill Saccone the Plumber, Keith Dunn the Fire Restoration Specialist, and Anthony Banfich's company, New View Construction. You mentioned Herschy and the Keegs Show, and we appreciate it. We love you guys, and we'll be back next week for more laughs, more sponsorship, and more shit.
And don't forget to vote every day for Herschy and the Keegs for best podcast on Long Island.
That's right.
Best of LI.
You're gonna vote for Herschy and the Keegs for best of LI. You're gonna vote for Mike Keegan as best Republican.
That's right.
You're gonna vote for Carla Okerson as best
comedian. On Long Island.
And again, if you decide that you don't want to vote for Herschy and the Keegs as best podcast, vote for Suzanne Galina as best podcast. Right. Okay, that's it.